We'll talk about the power to connect to the holiness, the upper holiness of Hashem. It says in our Parashas, Zois Chukas HaTorah. This is the rules of the Torah. And when you read the portion, you see that the Torah doesn't talk about the rules of the Torah. The Torah speaks about the rules of impurity. In Chotuma, if somebody touches a dead person, he needs Por Aduma, the red effer, to be sprinkled on him. So the Torah should have wrote, this is the rules of impurity. Not those are the rule of the Torah. Why impurity and holiness is the rules of the Torah? So the Ohr HaChaim HaKodesh explains that before Matan Torah, before the Jewish people received the Torah, the Jewish people didn't have the laws of impurity, Tumah v'Tara, like going Gentiles. A Gentile doesn't have a prohibition to live with his wife when she has a cycle of blood. There's no laws of impurity. If a Gentile touches a dead person, he doesn't have the laws of impurity. He doesn't have to become pure, etc., and holy. But when the Jewish people got the Torah, in Ma'amad al-Sinai, Hashem gave us the Torah. From that moment, the Jewish people received the laws of impurity, Tumah v'Tara. And what does that mean? Why when we receive the Torah and God gives us commandments, we have the laws of impurity? Because what is a commandment? When we make a blessing on the commandment of God, what do we say? Baruch atah Hashem, bless you Hashem. Hashem Kiddishanu, that He sanctified us. B'mitzvoso. With His commandment, He sanctified us. What does it mean, sanctity? By doing His action, doing His commandments. Means the concept of sanctity is to uplift ourselves, to raise ourselves up, to connect to the Kedusha Ha'elyono, to the elevated holiness of God. We have a relationship. When we did all those commandments before we commanded, as volunteering, didn't give us holiness. When we had the laws of holiness, Chukot of, when we had the rules of Tumah v'Tara, when we gave us a Torah. Zois Chukas HaTorah. When we got the Torah, we have a relationship with God. A personal relationship. And God commanded me, you, him, as far as long as you're Jewish. You have a direct commandment from God. Means He relates to you. He wants you to do it and He commands you. And when you do it, you separate yourself from everybody else around you which are not Jewish, Gentile, which are not commanded. And you separate yourself, you lift yourself because you have a direct relationship with it. I can walk around and I'm doing my things. It's not my thing, it's God things. I'm not the same person that walks around the world and does God things voluntarily. So we have the ability to uplift ourselves to the highest level of holiness, to connect to the upper elevated holiness, Kedusha Elyono, the elevated holiness of Hashem in the world through His commandments, through His Torah. This is something which only the Jewish people have. That the Jewish people have events. We have Shabbos, we call it Shabbat Kodesh, right? Or Holy Shabbos. Shabbos is holy. You separate yourself from the physical world and you rest. That's we call it. People go go to rest in the world, they call it, I'm going to a holiday. Holy day. Separated, holy day, right? A holiday. But it's not a holiday. It's a resting day. But for the Jewish people, when they stop working and they separate themselves, they designate themselves to God, it's a real holiness. It's connected to the upper holiness of Hashem, the Kedusha Elyono, the elevated holiness of Hashem. And we are commanded from God to follow and to do the holiness of Hashem. This is something which is special by the Jewish people. We have Rosh Chodesh. Today is Rosh Chodesh. What is Rosh Chodesh? Rosh Chodesh is a day that the Jewish people bring a sacrifice. It's a day of atonement. We have to make small feast. The Baba Sali, you heard of him? I don't know if you ever heard of him. Was a big mekubal. He used to fast from Motzei Shabbat to Shabbos night. Motzei Shabbat he ate Milava Malka, a bowl of dates together with almonds. He used to swallow it, and it stayed in his drink, and it stayed in his body for 1 week. He didn't eat. From 13 years old, he never ate during the week. He fasted the whole week. But 1 day a week he ate. It was Rosh Chodesh. It was Rosh Chodesh, the day of atonement. He made a feast. He used to bring machia. He used to bring, it's not vodka, it's called arak. Machia, arak, and you guys have some kind of an alcohol drink. He used to drink and eat and enjoy and thank Hashem for the day of atonement. But when we eat and drink, we don't eat and drink like animals. We eat and drink because today's a holy day to praise Hashem, to thank Hashem for the good things He's giving us, to reveal Hashem in our lives. So we do it as a commandment. So when we eat, even our physical eating is a very physical thing. We learned in our Gemara during the week we're learning that the rabbis prohibit us to eat the bread of the Gentiles, the oil, the cooked food, the ordinary wine, because we mingle with the daughters. Eating is something very animalistic thing that connects people. And the Jewish people are separated from the Gentiles because we're not worshiping idols. So the rabbi said, listen, stop. Even don't eat together with him. Even though he just eats and you eating and you making the blessing, he's not. And you eating kosher food even. No, it's a separation. We are a holy nation. We're separated. It's an added factor in our holiness. It's not a yoke. It's a merit. It's not a yoke. It's a relationship with God. People that feel that religion is a yoke, they misunderstood what is all religion is about. Religion about the Jewish religion, our Torah, is a relationship with God. It's a way to connect to the Kedusha Elyono, to the elevated holiness of Hashem. We separate ourselves from the physical world with a free choice. We understand God gave us that opportunity to connect and have something in this world which has meaning. Connect to the eternal God, to the eternal reward. To connect to eternity. Otherwise, just like an animal eats and drinks and dies and finishes. There's no meaning. We connect to our future. This is a big blessing the Jewish people have. So the laws of impurity, the laws of holiness, although a lot of the laws of impurity don't exist today. We don't have the temple. We don't have Torah Duma. Still Kohanim. Anyone is a Kohen here? Who is a Kohen here? Nobody is a Kohen. But a Kohanim cannot go into graves, right outside the Yeshiva. There's a whole gravesite of Gentiles. There's a machloket between Rabbeinu Tam and others. There's going Gentiles metame b'oil with a tent. This Ashkenazi worry for that opinion. That's why last night or Thursday night somebody put a big sign on a tree. You guys saw it. That Kohanim cannot pass through that tree because it's leaning over the graves. Till today, Kohanim do go into King David's tomb. Because King David's tomb is not there in the building, it's just under the ground. There's a room and then there's a tunnel that goes out. The whole really graveside of King David, King Solomon, because he was outside of the building. But till today, Kohanim watch themselves and be touching the people, going to graves. The holiness of Kohanim, even though they're already Tomei Mesim, all the Jewish people, including Kohanim, are impure. They touch somewhere along the line of life, dead person, but still being under a tent with dead people. But they're not allowed to add. Any time more they put themselves in that situation, they add impurity. And they have to become pure, they become holy. Same thing as a Jewish person, a normal Jewish person. When he does the mitzvahs, any mitzvah that he learns more and more, he does more mitzvahs, he has more holiness. He learns, and what is the highest form of Kedusha, holiness, is learning Torah. Now what do we do in Yeshiva? We learn Torah. Learning Torah is a format of the most highest level to connect to the Kedusha Elyon. Why? Because this is the wisdom of Hashem. And the wisdom of God and God itself is not two things. No separation. By human being, my wisdom in my hand is two different things. By God, the wisdom of God and God is in one thing, is one unity. So when we learn the wisdom of God in the Torah, we're able to connect when our intellect comprehends the words of the Torah, and the whole body is elevating themselves to connect to the words of the Torah. We become holy. And not only that, He commanded us to learn Torah. So His commandment to learn Torah it's also a direct relation with Him, because He told us directly, I want you to learn my wisdom. And you do His commandment. By doing that, it brings you to a stronger connection. So today is Rosh Chodesh. It's a day of atonement, a day of singing to God. We sing Hallel, we thank Hashem. They had here, Rabbi Portland, not here. He was here. Yeah, he had a group here who was singing and dancing, with music, for hours, singing to Hashem. Is it crazy? No, it's not crazy. This is the essence of a Jewish person. Is you have to come from inside. And not only that, what we say in the beginning, Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu Hashem Kiddushon, He commanded us and He sanctified us to read the Hallel and sing to God. God commanded us to sing to Him. What a merit. We should sing ourselves, understanding what He gave us. As volunteering, no. He commanded us. But commandment can become also very dangerous. You can feel a yoke. A lot of people grow religious and run away from religion. There's a yoke. The misunderstanding only take the point of the obligation of the yoke, without understanding it's a merit to have a relation with God through obligation. That's something you have to learn and grow. The other day I had an argument about my old student. He said, I don't believe in nothing anymore. He had a very hard childhood. Grew up religious, went to Yeshiva a couple of years. He said, I'm free. I can do what I want. So he can kill people, he can murder people. Because he says, no difference between me and an animal. He said, I don't know what to think about it. I said, why do you have to think about it? According to your theory, can murder people. They're like animals, like murdering chickens. He says, you know what? I'm afraid to tell you what really I think, but I'm not going to. He said, you're not free yet. You say you're free, you're free, not free. Not free with ideas. When you come free, come back and talk about religion. So when you're all totally free, so now you have an option. To leave the whole world as a question, such an exact, detailed world. Who created it? What's the purpose of it? Which is a very heavy question of a person's essence and being that he's always asking himself. That option, or choose the option of your father's not a liar and your grandfather, and they saw Hashem in Mount Sinai, and you take a small yoke of doing the mitzvahs. Less of a yoke to be in this vulnerable world with a question and no answer. When you free come back here, you will see that's the best choice. And that's the point. You have to choose to listen to God. Choose to do His commandments. You're obligated. You get punished if you don't do it. But there's a free choice in you to do it. And when you do that, you choose to be obligated. The whole religion connect to Hashem comes with happiness, singing. That's what's really important, to sing Hallel. Not just say Hallel, sing. Because singing comes from inside, from feelings, from a connection. That's what we do in the Yeshiva. So Bezrat Hashem, have a good day, Rosh Chodesh. You know, I want everybody in this Ashrei together with me to sing Ashrei. Should be a special Ashrei. Rosh Chodesh Ashrei. Bichananya ben Akashoy.